pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In our nation's memorial services yesterday, Vice President Pence said that it was their duty to serve and it was our duty to remember. So I'd like to do that this morning. Let us pray. Almighty God, remember before you today your faithful servants of Montgomery County who served in our armed forces and passed on. We pray that having opened to them the gates of larger life, you receive them more and more into your joyful service, that with all who have faithfully served in the past, they may share in the eternal victory of Jesus Christ our Lord, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever.
Next up on the agenda is the approval of minutes from the May 13th, 2019 regular meeting and May 24th, 2019 executive session. You should all receive copies. I entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions before the vote? All in favor of approving the minutes as presented, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Next up is the approval of claims, the accounts payable, and payroll. Jennifer?
I have the claims docket in the amount of $627,904.79. And then I have the payroll docket from this past Friday in the amount of $382,975.50.
This time I'd entertain a motion to approve the claims as presented.
So moved.
I'll second. Any discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. What else, Jennifer?
That's all I have for now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any reports from department heads or elected officials that's present? Moving on to old business, ordinance 2019-10, and I'll turn it over to Dan.
This ordinance would create the position of county administrator, inserting that in section 3401 of the county code. It would also approve the job description that's attached, which tracks the statute. There are two changes since you saw this at introduction. The first is on page 2 in the body of the codification. We've added a sentence in there that the county council will appoint 2 of its members to serve with the commissioners, participate in the interview of prospective candidates for the position. And that was the result of some negotiations between the county council and Mr. Fullwider. And then on the job description, on number 9 of primary duties, we inserted the phrase including requests for assistance from the county council with the section regarding performing all other duties, studies, investigations, analysis as requested by the county commissioners. And again, that was a result of some negotiations with the county council.
This is second reading. At this time, I entertain a motion on the approval of 2019-10.
So moved.
Have a motion, do we have a second? I'll second. Any discussion? Questions?
Okay, so this can be amended at any time. Things change or as we go through this, we see different needs and maybe different opportunities that we haven't even thought through. And you say there was some requests by the council. What was their line of thinking? Why were what was the council asking for input from this? This is commissioners, employee.
Yes, the council wanted to have input into the hiring process. They have to fund the position, so they felt as if they needed some help in that. And after some discussion about what needed to take place in the hiring position, I think that Jim was able to convince them that they could participate in that panel, but the decision about hiring would have to be the commissioners, not just because that's what the statute says, but also because of some liability issues about following the right procedure during the hiring process, which they agreed, they understood them. And so that language was inserted to allow them to have representation on the interview panel, so it would be you 3 commissioners and 2 councilmen, but the commissioners would make the decision. And then,
So this, adopting this ordinance actually adopts the position. Whether we ever find the right person today, tomorrow, next year, 5 years, whatever, I mean, or it gets funded one way or the other.
correct, it doesn't obligate you to hire anyone, it merely creates the position. It lays out the statutory job duties. You would not have to hire a county administrator. You could approve this, and then you still have to have the council funding.
But there's still time down the road if we decided that maybe the job description would change or requirements, the under knowledge, skills, ability, just in general requirements. So that could be changed. Not that it would be, but we would have that.
Right.
Okay.
It would be no different than, we'll use Mark as an example, but, or Jim, Peck, or, if we decided to change job descriptions and add or take away, we could do that at any time with any of those employees that are working for us. So this position would be no different in that aspect. Any other questions? Anything from the audience? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Next up is Public Defender's Office, lease 3rd floor. I believe Mr. Donaldson's back here. I am.
Morning.
Morning.
Back here again asking for some help from the commissioners to move, get some more space for our office. We're on the 2nd floor now of the Sonny McGoy building. We're out of space. As you know, we hired a 3rd deputy in March. I had to empty out the 5 cabinet rooms, move in, put a desk in there. We have 4 attorneys now trying to get by with 1 conference room. We're currently paying the county's currently paying $1,000 a month for the space we have. We're in negotiations with the landlord there. I'd like to move up to the 3rd floor if there's more space. But in consequence, they want to up the rent on us, obviously, to $1,800 is what we're talking about right now per month. Moving everything from the 2nd floor to the 3rd floor, and looking for a little more long-term lease at this point. So through the procedures, and Dan can explain that, we're here asking to start that procedure with a resolution.
Yes, you have before you a resolution of interest, resolution 2019-11, which is the beginning of that process. The resolution states that you're interested in extending that lease and changing that lease, and that the interest you have right now is entering into a new lease on or about August 1st. And so if you were to adopt this and you received a petition from 50 or more taxpayers supporting that, then you would conduct a public hearing on the issue, and you also would seek approval or a finding from the county council that the entering into the lease is necessary. So it's the first of 4 steps that you would have to do, and you would end that process by approving a resolution confirming the need and approving the lease.
Thanks, Dan. This time I'd entertain a motion for resolution 2019-11.
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second? I'll second. Open for discussion. There's a couple things here, I guess, Brian, I think it was misspoke or at least misunderstood by at least one councilman at the last meeting. I have since sent a message to hope you get that clarified up, but I think that you need to make sure that's clarified up with the fact that it was brought up that you guys are paying for that lease out of your bond administration, and that's currently not the case, so we need to make sure that that's cleared up. I don't want any, I shouldn't say false, misinterpreted information. I know that was discussed initially, but this money is currently coming out of county general, so we need to make sure we clarify that with the council. Two things. One, Brian talked to me about, maybe up to a 5-year lease. Those leases are, I think that the space is probably needed, probably going to be needed for quite some time. The thing about these 1- and 2-year leases, we have to do this short of crazy, I guess, resolution where we have to get these 50 signatures every time we renew the lease, even though it's just renewing a current lease. So I guess stepping up for the longer term is good in some instances, but I want to make sure that we cover ourselves in those leases, that if for some reason or another somebody wants to give us a little downtown to use for free, then we get out of the paying money and stuff. So I'll leave that up to you as far as reviewing the lease and making sure we get that kind of stuff covered.
That's my only input, is if we have other options,
Right.
then 5 years is a long time. As far as procedurally, do it once and then,
Jim, can I respond?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was just doing that for convenience, but this 4-step process, we gotta do this year anyway at the end of the year, because our current lease ends in December, it's a 1-year lease. So either way, we're gonna have to do that again. And also, my understanding is that they were willing to lock in the price.
Right.
For that.
Yeah, I think it's like I said, I think it's the best decision. It's just that we just need to make sure we cover it in the lease if for some reason situation change for us, we have our house. Anything else from the commissioners? Anything from the audience? All in favor of resolution 2019-11, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Moving on to new business, the CSI agreement for the recorder, and I see she's sitting back here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just have our redaction services support agreement from our computer software. And then I have a disaster recovery service agreement, but it doesn't look like you guys have to sign it.
We need to approve. No, she said we don't have to sign it. Okay.
I sent it to you.
Okay. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve the CSI agreements from the recorder. These are just renewals, correct? Is that what you said?
This one is, the disaster recovery is a new program.
Okay.
so moved.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions?
Oh, I mean, this is not specific to this, but just around the recorder. And we're running into some issues now with some deeds that aren't getting, we're working on some right-of-way stuff, and I don't know I know that got taken out of the building department and back in here, but anyway, it's not what, that's an issue, maybe not for this discussion here, but that's something we need to get fixed, or find a solution, or what's going on there. This might not fix that.
That doesn't have anything to do with my office.
No, I know that.
Just the recording part.
Yeah, they'll be recorded when we receive them,
Okay.
when they're approved.
All right. Any other questions, comments? Anything from the audience? All in favor of approving the 2 agreements with CSI for the recorder's office, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Should have your signed copy of this. Next up is the Crawfordsville Dance Team led by Karen Douglas. Oh, no.
Not led by, I'm not a dancer. I have to respectfully ask to be taken off of the agenda. Things have changed since I've spoken with you guys on Thursday. Yes, I'm dead serious. So I said, all right, I'll go to the meeting and say thank you, but never mind. So normally we use the parking lot for the fundraiser and yeah, so
All
we'll
right.
see what happens next year. But I get to, yeah, since I'm here, that's why I get picked. So, thank you
All right.
guys.
Thanks, Karen. And then next is going to be Matt Peck with Star Ambulance wanting to discuss EMS agreement.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for seeing me. I was contacted in December. I'm sorry. Sorry. I was contacted in December by an attorney by the name of Darren Chad, who said he was representing the county, wanting a copy of an agreement that we had with the county. I think much to his surprise, it was almost a 30-year-old document, but I was able to produce it for him. I had no problem, and like I said, he said he was doing this for, I guess you guys were trying to gather up all your contracts over time. The reason I'm here today is we are in the very final stages of making the decision on a very large purchase that'll take us several years to pay off, which we're happy to do. We're out here for that reason. But what I'm looking for is there a plan and process to change the way the agreements are done? Do you guys have plans to do anything different with EMS in the county? And that's what I'm kind of looking for, just basically kind of as a courtesy kind of for us, because if we aren't going to be providing this service any further, then it would be unnecessary and frankly detrimental to us to make this long-term commitment. So I guess what I'm just kind of looking for today is there any plans in the works to do anything different?
I guess I'll talk to that the best that I can. Actually, there's no plans. I believe that contract was all requested out of, I'm trying to think back to December, I've slept since then, but it had something to do with the operations board side from the 911 directors from the operations meeting. I don't recall what the request was. As to say that is there currently anything that is in the process, no, there's not. However, I think that you and I can both agree, both being involved in this type of service, that this county needs to step up in the future and moving forward as far as our ALS response to some of our rural parts of the community and stuff in this county, one way or the other. And what that answer is probably still very unclear. But I think that the importance, especially when you look at our neighboring communities and the importance of the way things have changed with EMS and stuff, that how crucial the advanced life support can be, being quickly responded. And there is some areas that does not get ALS currently as it sets today when the first alarm drops.
Sure.
So in my opinion, I think that's something that this county probably needs to look at in the future. Is it set down today to say is there a plan in place? Absolutely not, but I think it's something that we do have to think about in the future, some way, somehow.
Sure, okay.
Now, to recall why the contract was requested, I don't remember. I'll be speaking with Mr. Chad as far as the matter. That's not a 911 board meeting, but I don't remember what the request was for at that time.
Okay. Well, like I said, I guess then your opinion I'd be seeking out here is, should I make this purchase? I guess I'm less than 2 weeks away. I have to, and it's going to be, and like I said, I'm not asking for the county to help us with anything at all. That's not why I'm here. But if something is going to be changing, even within the next couple of years, like I said, this is something that would be committed specifically for our operations in this county.
Right.
And if we don't need to do that, you can understand from our standpoint, it's like, I don't want to pay for something that we won't be
Big
providing.
business decision is not
Absolutely,
necessary.
it's a very large one for us.
I think that maybe we can talk more, maybe, in the future, just in the next few days, maybe to set aside, but I guess I can't say that there'll be anything in the next year or two, but like I said, I think in my opinion, at least that this county has to step it up and move forward in the future as far as how we respond.
Okay, well, I mean, obviously, I understand, I think I understand a couple of townships you're probably referring to that are covered by volunteer services primarily. I was going to say, the townships you guys cover, I know, are all ALS, and the townships we cover are all ALS provided, so I guess that's the only thing. So, okay, well, that's it. Thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate you letting me talk.
Thank you. And anything else on the other business? Anybody have? Anything? Entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved. We're adjourned, thank you.